It's 1995 and life is pretty sweet. You just gone back to school shopping at the mall, stopped at the arcade to play a few rounds of Street Fighter, and now you're going for dinner with your parents and your little brother at your favorite place. So what's on the menu? Well, how about everything? You're going to the town's big buffet. For one low price, your entire family can eat as much as they want from everything on offer. You can't wait to fill up your plate with fried chicken, rice pilaf, baked ham, and more. And for dessert, you're gonna build your own ice cream sundae. Sounds like a little slice of heaven, right? But why does it seem like buffets are rarer and rarer these days? And why have some of the most popular buffets gone out of business entirely? Find out on this episode of The Infographic Show, why buffets failed. The buffet isn't a new innovation. Centuries ago, kings were bellying up to massive smorgasbords of everything the castle cook could serve up. But it's fairly new for the average Joe to be able to just walk in, pony up a reasonable fee, and have access to an all-you-can-eat feast. The first restaurant buffets opened in the 20th century, and were going strong into the new millennium. For a while, it seemed like every town had its own Chinese and Indian buffets. The massive chains like Golden Corral, Hometown Buffet, and Cici's Pizza were opening new locations all the time. No matter where you turned, there was a bottomless pit of food waiting for you. But slowly and surely, the tide started to change. Many of the biggest chains have seen huge declines in the number of restaurants available. Some have gone from expanding rapidly to shrinking just as fast. Others have gone extinct entirely. While buffets aren't a thing of the past by any means, it's getting harder and harder to find them. Many restaurants that used to offer all-you-can-eat options have shifted to a standard menu. And there are many possible culprits, with the most obvious being, well, it is expensive to run a buffet. They run on excess, and that means as food costs rise, the business can become unsustainable. Since the 2000s, the United States has weathered one massive recession, and worries are building for another. But a bigger factor might be found in what people want to eat. It's not a coincidence that the buffet restaurant started gaining popularity in the back half of the 20th century, which was considered a time of abundance. But eventually, people started looking at what all that abundance was doing to their waistlines. American tastes started to shift. Companies like Weight Watchers and Lean Cuisine built empires around healthier food, and people started paying attention to the calorie content of their favorite foods. And at a buffet, not thinking about nutrition is part of the appeal. So people who were watching their weight started considering other options, and buffet chains felt the pinch in their pocketbooks. And so many of the most famous chains saw their fortunes change. One of the models that saw a lot of success in the 1980s was restaurants offering bonus buffets. These were full-service restaurants that also offered a buffet for free or for a small add-on to your meal. Sizzler, Ponderosa Steakhouse, and its sister restaurant Bonanza Steakhouse all specialized in this model. While the buffets weren't the most elaborate, you could usually get pasta, tacos, chicken wings, and a huge salad bar plus dessert, a great add-on to a meal of steak or fried fish. Sizzler at its peak had over 270 restaurants throughout the US, but now it's primarily concentrated on the West Coast where it has 74 restaurants open. Ponderosa and Bonanza have fared worse. While the chain originally had over 150 locations, today it has only 15, and closures have continued to ramp up. But the biggest factor is that many people, unfortunately, just find buffets gross. Most buffet restaurants, especially the chains, have passed health inspections regularly and are considered reputable places to eat. But there is an added element that you won't find at the Olive Garden. You're at the mercy of your fellow guests. Everyone is going up to the same buffet, which means that you're sharing your food with the most ill-mannered guests out there. Maybe someone has a cold and is adding a side of snot to the mac and cheese. You don't know if that sneeze guard is going to hold up. Or maybe someone isn't sure if they like the chocolate pudding and they just stick their finger in to give a taste. And then of course there's the kids, who may just decide it's time for a food fight. Yummy. And some foods just don't do all that well at a buffet. It was the best day of the week in elementary school, Pizza Day. Sure, that square loaf of French bread topped with melted industrial cheese and mass-produced tomato sauce might have been the furthest thing from authentic, but it hit the spot after a long division. And that is the closest thing to the experience today that might just be the pizza buffet. Two chains, Cici's Pizza and Pizza Ranch, dominate the sector, offering well over a dozen varieties of pizza sitting under heat lamps. There's also a small menu of chicken, pasta, salad, and dessert to supplement it. These are often the cheapest all-you-can-eat buffets because you're mostly eating pizza dough and they assume it'll fill you up quickly. But what could be wrong with that? Blame Little Italy. Pizza is one of the worst foods to put under a heat lamp for a length of time. That cheese will get leathery, and the pizza dough will get hard. Most of the toppings will crisp up and taste more like pepperoni jerky. And so, while it's still a popular low-cost choice, the chains have been heavily hurt by the increase in artisanal pizzerias around the country. For many people, once they go brick oven, they won't go back. CC's, which had more than 500 restaurants at its peak, filed for bankruptcy in 2021, although it still has 234 locations open today. Pizza Ranch never got as big, but currently has 217 locations and continues to have a loyal following. I guess some people remember the French bread pizza fondly, but no chain has had the PR struggles of the self-proclaimed king of buffets. Golden Corral proudly declares itself the endless buffet, and the massive pay-one-price country-style restaurant is still the first name in buffets. It's located in 43 U.S. states currently and has 373 locations, although this is down from over 500 at its peak. The majority are franchisees, and the company frequently tries to attract new visitors with seasonal additions to the buffets. It has all the standard buffet classics like fried chicken and pot roast, but it also offers a grill stand where you can get cooked-to-order steaks and burgers. And it gets high marks for its desserts, especially its banana bread, which is also sold in loaves to take home. But it's often in the news for the wrong reasons. Golden Corral seems to attract bad PR, with frequent articles about just how crazy the place can get. There are constant rumors about people being kicked out of the place for eating too much. Then there's the restaurant's signature chocolate fountain, designed for dipping marshmallows and strawberries, which has reportedly been the site of some seriously unsavory behavior, like children dipping their fingers or tongues into the fountain. These are usually viral stories, but no doubt played a role in the disappearance of the fountain from most locations. But one incident was all too real and captured on video. The Golden Corral in Bensalem, Pennsylvania was packed on a Friday night when suddenly the always lively buffet became a little too lively. There were people brawling on the floor, and eventually more than 40 people were involved. Police were called, and it turned out that it stemmed from an argument over the buffet running out of steak. Steak is the high-money item, man. But it seems that the buffet was never out of steak. One person was just upset that someone else got in line. Things got out of control, and chaos ensued. The footage went viral, and many people were no doubt wondering if they wanted to risk a brawl for their next dinner out. This would never happen at Bonefish Grill. The decline in buffets was already happening, but the all-you-can-eat world was about to be hit by a meteor. In early 2020, the buffet market was in shrink mode, with many chains closing locations or filing for bankruptcy. But no one in the industry was prepared for COVID-19, the mysterious and deadly virus that upended the world and took all the pre-existing concerns and magnified them. Suddenly, food safety was a much bigger concern, and crowding up to the buffet with dozens of other random people sounded terrifying to many people. All restaurants were closed for a certain time across the country, ranging from a month to the better part of a year, and when they were allowed to reopen, many had to abide by strict distancing and capacity rules. This was difficult for most restaurants and near impossible for buffets. It spelled an immediate end for some buffet chains. Ovation Brands might sound like a generic name, but it was the subsidiary that operated several of the most famous buffet chains in the country: Ryan's, Furr's, Hometown Buffet, and Old Country Buffet. They had similar offerings to Golden Corral, but were in steep decline for years. By 2020, they were down to only a handful of locations of each brand. After the pandemic hit, they filed for bankruptcy for the latest and last time, closing down the few remaining locations and leaving many a millennial nostalgic for the carving station. And in the case of one chain, it didn't even wait for the bad financial news. Soup Plantation, also known as Sweet Tomatoes, wasn't your ordinary buffet chain. Based in California, it was known for a massive salad bar and a huge soup selection, making it a perfect choice for lighter appetites. But in 2020, as the pandemic hit, the company knew they were in trouble. Not only did the chain mostly appeal to health-conscious West Coast customers, the exact kind of crowd likely to be extra cautious during a pandemic, but they were also based in a state that took COVID regulations seriously. So, by May 2020, they made the decision to close all their locations permanently and liquidate the company. The company isn't 100% dead because it was bought at auction, and the new owners have opened up one new restaurant in Tucson, but that's about as close as it can get. So, is it all bad news for buffet lovers? In a word, no. Get ready to salivate, because fans of all-you-can-eat feasts do have some things to celebrate. While all the big buffets have been struggling for years, many smaller chains and individual restaurants have been pivoting to new offerings to cater to existing and new customers. They range from restaurants trying new serving techniques to eliminate the worries about sanitation, to restaurants offering cuisines you can't find so easily anywhere else. And for some, the best approach seems to be go big as possible. One area that seems to be thriving is the brunch buffet. These are usually among the highest-end buffets, with price tags possibly reaching above $100 for the most elite locations. You won't be having to contend with the hyper kids at these. These brunch spots, usually offered only on Sundays at a hotel restaurant or a cozy local venue, aren't just about pancakes and eggs. Some go all out with high-end dishes like lobster and caviar, and often offer bottomless brunch cocktails. And if you're worried that this will lead to brawls, the cocktails are usually mimosas, as mild as it gets. But sometimes a few elite items is all it takes. A small but popular buffet chain that's been thriving recently is Captain George's Seafood Restaurant, located in Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina, primarily in tourist areas. This bottomless restaurant specializes in the bounty of the sea. It serves up a huge array of fish, clams, shrimp, scallops, and the signature item, all-you-can-eat crab legs, a rarity these days. The chain only has 4 locations right now, but it has a loyal fan base. Its price tag of $50 for an adult buffet makes it more of a special occasion destination, exactly as the nautical-themed restaurant wants it. And of course, if we're talking about high-end buffets, we have to look at the king of high rollers. Several casinos in Vegas and Atlantic City closed their buffets during the pandemic, and some chose to replace them with food halls. That move may have actually worked out well for the remaining ones. They were able to pivot to making their buffets truly elite dining experiences. Locations like Bacchanal Buffet and the Wicked Spoon in Vegas and the Borgata Buffet in Atlantic City have gained a good reputation for unique offerings, with stations at these buffets offering dim sum, fresh-made pasta, and roast meats. The price tag has gone up too, of course, but that just makes it a perfect place to visit after a win at the slots. And to find the most buffets in a concentrated area, you might just want to visit the happiest place on earth. Disney World brings millions of visitors to its parks each year, and they work up quite an appetite. That makes it the perfect place for an all-you-can-eat buffet. All 4 of the main Disney World parks offer buffets ranging from all-American locations like the Crystal Palace and Hollywood and Vine to more unique German or African buffets at Biergarten or Tusker House. The hotels also have their own buffets, including the seafood-focused Cape May Cafe. Disney has also pioneered their own style of all-you-can-eat dining focused on refillable skillets of grilled meats and sides brought to your table. Want more of a specific item? Just ask and it's brought to your table. This style of pseudo-buffet is available in barbecue, Caribbean, Scandinavian, and the most popular option at the parks, the Polynesian Feast at Ohana. And maybe the appeal of those restaurants is the best of both worlds. In recent years, an old-fashioned style of all-you-can-eat dining is making a comeback – family style, where everything is bottomless but you don't have to get up from your table. One of the most popular restaurants of this style, Mama's Farmhouse, is found in the tourist haven of Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. There, a country-style feast is brought to your table for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Each day for dinner, 3 meats are offered, along with your choice of 4 sides and a dessert. This format has become such a fan favorite that a similar restaurant, Paula Deen's Family Kitchen, owned by the controversial TV chef, is able to coexist with it in the same town. Paul is looking to expand too. Her restaurant is a fast-growing chain. And another chain is gaining momentum because it's offering something hard to find. One of the hottest trends of the 90s was Mongolian BBQ, where you assembled a stir-fry raw and watched it cook in front of your eyes on a massive grill. The trend declined both due to sanitation worries and due to people realizing that, well, it wasn't really Mongolian food at all. But it is making a comeback, with Who Hot Mongolian Grill having over 52 locations primarily based in the Midwest. This reinvention of the unique cuisine sets itself apart by being all-you-can-eat and offering a much larger array of proteins, including marinated meats, to add to your bowl. And sometimes the key is knowing when to be satisfied with what you have. Chuck-A-Rama has only 11 locations in Utah and Idaho, but the small chain has a dedicated fan base. Catering to the local Mormon population, the chain specializes in a humble, affordable buffet featuring carved meats, fried chicken, and daily specials including barbecue and Mexican food. It also offers unique sides like the cheesy potato casserole, commonly known as funeral potatoes. Despite being a success, the company doesn't seem eager to expand outside its little corner, because it knows who its audience is and what they want. Would funeral potatoes play in Poughkeepsie? Chuckarama doesn't need to know. But the biggest surprise hit in buffets might be in the most unlikely of locations. When people think about the Amish, they probably think about a horse and buggy. They don't think about the most indulgent buffet on the East Coast. But that is exactly what they'd find in the tiny town of East Earle, Pennsylvania. Shady Maple Smorgasbord is actually the largest buffet in the United States, and the massive barn-like restaurant is open 3 meals a day, 6 days a week. It specializes in all-American classics combined with traditional Amish dishes. Breakfast features scrapple and cornmeal cakes, along with eggs and bacon. Dinner offers up buttered noodles and Harvard beets, along with some of the best fried chicken in the state. Along with the all-you-can-eat buffet, the restaurant features a huge grill where you can have cooked-to-order specialties like pancakes, omelets, burgers, and steaks. The place has gone viral for its size and tasty food, as well as the fact that it is truly all-inclusive, with drink, tax, and tip being paid up front and prices being highly reasonable. And maybe the surest sign of buffets trying to make a comeback is that they're showing up in hotels again. The free breakfast buffet used to be a staple of mid-range chain hotels, but most replaced them with either grab-and-go options or, well, nothing during the pandemic. But that's changing as the popular Homewood Suites and Embassy Suites chains by Hilton have brought back their morning spreads. The buffets are usually pretty modest, offering eggs, pancakes, or waffles, a breakfast potato, and a breakfast meat along with cold options. Embassy Suites adds the cooked-to-order omelet station. It's not a huge spread, but it is free and it hits the spot in the morning. Which raises the question, is a new age of buffets beginning? While these individual locations and small chains may be looking up, problems are likely to continue for the bigger chains. Many are either dead or dying, and the surviving chains are struggling with how to recalibrate to different tastes and dining customs. Maybe the most ominous sign for Golden Corral yet? They're starting to pivot to a non-buffet model. A spin-off restaurant initially called Homeward Kitchen, but now rebranded as Golden Corral Favorites, offers a fast-casual take on the popular buffet chain. You order an entree and sides in a bowl format, perfect for a quick lunch like Chipotle. The concept is only one location now, but it is hoping to expand soon. So for those who can't get enough of the all-you-can-eat buffet, we recommend going now. You'll either get it while you're still here, or you'll help keep them in business. And remember, if they kick you out of the all-you-can-eat seafood buffet, you can always go fishing. Do you think buffets are gone for good, or will they make a comeback? What's your take? A convenient feast or a hygiene nightmare? Drop your thoughts below. Want to know more about the demise of an American dining icon? Check out the real reason why McDonald's is failing, or watch this video instead.